And you might think, just like, you know what, I'm not, Ismail, I'm not stressed. Why is this hormone very high in my body? The simple reason is because of your habits. If you're sleeping, just think of it from like a evolution point of view. If you're waking up different times every single day, you're going to sleep at different times every single day, you're eating at different times every single day, the body thinks that you're moving around every single day, like you're traveling basically, you're moving from place to place. And the thing is, it thinks you're moving from place to place because you're being hunted. There's a predator on the loose, and basically you're going to get eaten, you're going to get killed. Because of that, you're in a flight or fright response. This is why when you go to sleep, you might wake up feeling groggy, because your body's just stressed. Your body, even though it's resting, technically, it's not really recovering. Do you ever feel like you're doing everything right? You're eating clean, you're training, and you're tracking your calories, but your body still doesn't change. You're not looking any more aesthetic. You haven't lost any weight. And the thing is, when you wake up, sometimes you feel moody, and going to the gym just feels like a massive drag. It's like dragging a boulder up a hill. This was me for a very long time. I used to think I was just lazy and I couldn't be bothered, but it wasn't even laziness. It was just habits which were literally killing my hormones. There were times where I would basically eat clean and feel unmotivated. I was exhausted. And the thing is, there was no reason whatsoever, because there had been times previously where I had felt unmotivated, but the sole reason was because I just ate horrible food and my body was just having a hard time digesting and breaking everything down. So it was natural for me in that instance for me to feel like I can't be bothered doing anything, never mind going to a gym, just even walking around. And there's been times where even evenings as well, when you're tired, it's just like 6-7 o'clock and you just want to go sleep. But the thing is, when sleeping time would come around, like say 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever time you go sleep, I just wouldn't be tired. There was a time in my life where sleeping at 2 a.m. was actually something which worked for me very well. I would go sleep at 10 a.m. I would go sleep at 2 a.m. and I would wake up at 10 a.m. and then I would go to the gym around 11 or so. But there was times where it would creep up to 3 a.m., 4 a.m., sometimes even later than that, scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on whatever, like watching random YouTube videos, then waking up at like noon, probably not even noon, sometimes at 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Can't even have breakfast at that time because obviously you've woken up too late. And then I would tell myself I would go for a workout later. But when evening time would come around, I was just tired. I would feel lethargic. My brain would be all fogged up. And even thinking about the gym was just too much. So I'd skip it. And because I'd skip it, my diet would definitely suffer. Because for me anyways, when I skip on my diet, when I skip on my discipline, like say I don't do certain things, like certain habits, like eat clean, tidy my room. And I saw this actually the other day, a quick one, where it was about that movie Limitless, and the guy got a red pill or a blue pill. I can't remember what happened, but basically he got these powers and he's just very clever. And the guy, he didn't go and buy like next level stocks or do whatever. The guy basically cleaned his room. So that literally tells you the importance of having a clean room, because the mental clarity is underrated from having a clean room. Like for example, if sometimes there's things on my desk, like there's not really much on my desk at the moment, but sometimes there's things can just gather on your desk and you might not even know. You might be like, you know what, I need to put this item away, and I'll put it away after. Before you know it, there's like 3 or 4 things and you just can't think straight. And as soon as you put that away, as soon as you tidy your room, as soon as you do little things like open loops, you close the open loops, your brain becomes very, very clear. So my routine before, it was killing my testosterone. It was very, very late nights, zero sunlight, very high cortisol habits, and no movement whatsoever. And that combination in itself tells you that the body is basically in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, a flight or fight response will happen. And when you're in that state of flight or flight, you do not burn fat whatsoever or build muscle. The body just clings onto everything because it thinks you're in trouble. And the worst part isn't even, the lack of results or because I was gaining weight or whatever happens, right? But it was just how I felt. I was just tired all the time. I'd wake up already tired, no drive to change, no hunger to progress, nothing to strive towards, and you just start feeling mentally heavy, even if you're not physically exhausted. And when that happens long enough, you basically believe that something's not wrong with you, and whatever motivation, hopes, whatever you have, it just starts to dwindle, and you think to yourself, you know what, maybe this thing won't work for me. Now, there's been a few times, actually, this was me, and I want to say it was before when I think around it was 2018. I've been training for a very, very long time, but in 2018, I remember I was going to the gym, and then I just thought to myself, you know what, I've been going to the gym for ages. I'm going to the gym for a while. My physique is not aesthetic. I was strong, but my physique was just not good whatsoever. And I thought, you know what, I play sports, I work out, my diet could have been better, but I thought, you know what, surely there's people who don't have an ultra clean diet, who are a lot leaner than me, who have better physiques than me, that are definitely stronger than me, that look better than me, and definitely feel like it. Then I thought to myself, you know what, there must be something wrong with me, there's something wrong with what I'm doing, something wrong with my diet. And looking back now, I realized it wasn't discipline I was missing, it was just hormones being wrecked by the way I was living. And during COVID, I started fixing things I won't say very slowly, but it wasn't perfect. It was just literally small things I did. I told myself, you know what, I'm still gonna sleep at a comfortable time, but at least sleep at the same time every single night, which wasn't even hard for me. Instead of going to sleep at 3 a.m. one day, 2 a.m. one day, 1 a.m. one day, 4 a.m. one day, I just started going to sleep at 2 a.m. And this single thing, literally going to sleep at the same time every single day, made a massive difference. And people say, you know what, you should wake up early. I think the more important thing is going to sleep and waking up at the same time. It could be around like 10 a.m. like I did. You could go sleep at 12, which is considered quite late if you're quite young. But if you go sleep at 12 p.m. and then you wake up at, say, 8 or even half 8, you get 8.5 hours sleep, you're still getting good sleep. But say you go to sleep at 12 and in your head you're like, you know what, I'm missing out on playing I don't know, PS5 with your friends, or you're missing out on anything else, then you won't stick to it. But if you have something like 2 a.m., which I did, which allowed me to do every single thing I want to do, play games with my friends, go to the gym, eat clean, still feel like I've got time to myself even after I've played games or whatever, then I knew that was the thing for me. After I did that, I started going out in the sun more. Consciously, I started going out in the sun more. Before, I'd go out in the sun, but it would just be, I wouldn't say coincidental, but I would just be going to the mosque. I would be walking to the gym. I'd be playing football outside. And sometimes in the summer, in the winter, whatever, it's just depending on the weather. Sometimes you don't play football. Sometimes you don't walk to the gym. Sometimes whatever, something happens and you basically don't go outside a lot. And in the UK, the weather is most of the time horrible, right? So you don't even get proper sun, like direct sun. When I started doing that, you just feel better in the sun. I don't know how to explain it. You just feel like you're a plant and you're going through photosynthesis. I also started walking a lot every single day. Not, power walking or anything stupid like that. I just started walking every single day. I was probably clocking in around 11k steps every single day. I wouldn't really slap a number on it, but I would say 11k steps every single day. Because I had a treadmill, I had a home gym, and I was also walking outside a lot because I told you I made a conscious effort to go outside. So me and a friend of mine would basically go outside, go for walks, and whilst we were going for walks, we basically just even after the walk, we would just chill outside and just chat for ages in the sun. And slowly after that, the fog lifted. I just wasn't tired anymore. The gym started to feel easier again. And I realized this very clearly because there was a time where you just have that spark. When you first start the gym and you just want to absorb knowledge, you're like a sponge. You're like, what's the best exercise for such and such a thing? Then I had that feeling again. I had that drive. The thing is, you don't realize how much your bad habits are basically restricting you. Even if you're someone who, like something small, like you don't go to sleep at the same time every single day, or you don't wake up at the same time every day. To be fair, if you feel like you're a bit tired or whatever, I understand. But if you go to sleep at the same time every single day, you train more or less every single day, the habits that you should be doing, you keep consistent. Once you stop doing that, you realize how much of a better person you are and you can be when you do the simple things which you should be doing. So what really happens is when you stay up late, your testosterone drops because it's not very ideal for the body for you to be sleeping at different times every single day. And because of that, your cortisol spikes, and that's why you wake up groggy. And cortisol is basically the stress hormone. When you're stressed, cortisol spikes. And you might think to yourself, you know what, I'm not, Ismail, I'm not stressed. Why is this hormone very high in my body? The simple reason is because of your habits. If you're sleeping, just think of it from like an evolution point of view. If you're waking up different times every single day, you're going to sleep at different times every single day, you're eating at different times every single day, the body thinks that you're moving around every single day, like you're traveling. Basically, you're moving from place to place. And the thing is, it thinks you're moving from place to place because you're being hunted. There's a predator on the loose, and basically you're going to get eaten, you're going to get killed. Because of that, you're in a flight or fright response. This is why when you go to sleep, you might wake up feeling groggy, because your body's just stressed. Your body, even though it's resting, technically, it's not really recovering. You might feel like, you know what, why do I feel tired? Why do I feel like this? It's simply because your habits are horrible. Next thing, the sunlight resets the circadian rhythm. The body's natural clock for hormones and energy is basically being reset, simply because when you go outside, you get sunlight in your eyes. Then the brain knows, you know what, this guy is awake. That's why when you've probably seen it online, a lot of people say get the sunlight in the first thing in the morning. And that's the reason why, because your body can reset. And naturally 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours later, the body knows, you know what, this guy got sunlight in his eyes around 8 a.m. Now it's been 12 hours. Naturally, the body will be like, he's probably going to go sleep soon. So your circadian rhythm clocks in, and it basically tires the body down naturally. And walking, the main thing I did, it helps your insulin sensitivity, and it reduces your body mass, and it uses the food rather than storing it. When I was in school, I remember the PE teacher, he said walking has no benefit unless you walk 15 minutes. I don't know how true or whatever that is, but I've always kind of stuck to that. And the thing is, as a side effect of that, I always kind of clock in, I don't know how many steps you can do in 15 minutes, but if you walk on like 2.5, 3 miles an hour, you can clock in a decent amount of steps in 15 minutes. But walking is just very, very good. It's not like jogging, where when you jog for an extended period of time, say you jog 15 minutes 3 times a day, you would definitely have some kind of cortisol spike. And because you're running quite high impact, it can definitely have an impact on your muscles. Your muscle will definitely feel a bit flatter if you're jogging a lot compared to walking. So those tiny habits, I would say even boring habits, were rebuilding my hormone foundation. And after a few weeks, you start to see like good results, such as like your pumps are better, your fat loss feels better, your skin feels better, you have more energy, you have more confidence. You just have a new lease of life. When I stopped fighting my body and started supporting it, everything changed. And I realized, you know what, I'm not a lazy guy. I just feel drained. And you can't expect your brain to work when the biology is out of sync. And once the energy comes back, and once my energy came back, the discipline naturally came back, and I didn't need motivation anymore. Before you blame your training or your diet, fix these 3 things. Just go to sleep at the same time every single night. You get 10-15 minutes sunlight every single time in the morning. And the thing is that I'll give you a piece of advice. I've been doing this recently. If you've got like a bit of a back garden, a backyard or whatever, you don't even need massive space. What you need to do is get a skipping rope or jump rope, whatever you want to call it, and basically do around like 500 skips. And naturally that will take you around 5-10 minutes depending on how good you are. And you will get some kind of morning fasted cardio in, and you would also get some sunlight in your eyes. Third one is walk more than you think you need. Do that for 2 weeks. You will feel like a brand new person. Your hormones aren't the enemy, your habits are the enemy. This is exactly what we work on in my free school community. Small changes that actually fix your energy, not just your body. You'll get my full system: training, nutrition, recovery, supplements, all built for our lifestyle. And if you like this video, click on the screen. I think you'll like that one even more.